What's up, guys? Today we are going to be fixing the fan in the stock FRS radio. So here is the culprit. Unfortunately, I can't show you the noise it's making because I already took it apart and unplugged the fan because it was annoying me so much. And I ordered new fans online. I got them in now, so I'm going to show you how to fix it. So I actually really like this radio. It's, you know, really basic looking, has buttons. I do like the way touchscreen radios look better, but I just like using buttons on my radio better because I can control it better when I'm driving. And this has Bluetooth on it, so it's got everything I need. It sounds good. And I just wanted to fix it. So the radio worked fine, but it was making like a really loud grinding noise. It did it when the radio was even off. The fan still runs. So it's actually really easy to take the radio out. I'm going to show you how to do that. The actual radio repair itself is a little bit more difficult. If you've done any electronic repair in the past, it's going to be super easy for you. But if you've never done anything like that, it might be a little difficult, but I'll walk you through it, so it's pretty good. So let's get started. So the first thing you have to do is pop out the 4 clips in this trim piece right here. This piece goes around the radio, and it just has 4 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you have a trim removal set like that, it's really easy to get it off. If you don't, I think you can kind of just pull down here maybe if you get a good enough grip on it, and it'll come out. I did it on accident once. I think I was messing with my mount right here. If you have a screwdriver, you can kind of wedge it back there if you don't have a trim removal kit. But I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pop this in where I can. Maybe over here. Down here maybe. There we go, that's working. So that kind of got it undone there. And over here, I'm just gonna pull on that. And then just kind of work your way around. All those will come out. Super easy. And then you have 4 10mm bolts holding it in. One right there, there, and then 2 on this side as well. So I'm gonna take those out off camera. All right, so now I got all of those out right there. I'm going to pull this out. Those ones are kind of loose. I couldn't really pull them out. But you just want to kind of just pull the radio straight out. And then you have a few things plugged in the back. I'm going to grab these bolts before they fall. So you have all of these plugged in the back except for maybe those RCA wires. Those are for the wiring I have for an amp in the back that's not there. But just unplug all of this stuff and then pull the radio out. So here are the fans I bought. They're definitely the wrong size. I measured it, and I guess I measured wrong. I realized after I got them that it's the wrong size. I bought 30mm fans. I bought a pack of 5 because it was like $1 more for 5 than it was for 1. They're 12-volt fans, 30mm. The fan that's in here is 35mm, also 12 volts. I tried to get the right connector, but this connector looks a little bit too big. So I don't think that's going to work either, so I'm going to have to cut and solder the connector from the other fan, but I'm going to try to make one of these work. So the first thing that you need to do is take these brackets off the sides. They're kind of bigger screws, so you can just go ahead and use any regular screwdriver to take those off. The next thing you want to do is take off the top of the radio, which is just these 5 screws. I have to go eject this CD. So the main goal of what we're trying to do here is we're trying to separate this top piece from the bottom so that we can get to the fan, which is right here. Obviously the CD player is kind of in the way, so the CD player doesn't actually have to come out. This whole thing comes out with the CD player in there. So what we have to do next is just take off this back plate. Now that we have the back off, we have to get the face plate off so we can take that apart as well. So this doesn't have any screws holding it on, it's just got a bunch of clips, 2 on the sides, plus 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, so 10 clips total. I broke one of them last time, so they're kind of a pain. You just kind of have to like lift up on them while pushing the face plate off a little bit, like that, and then kind of hold them unclipped while you work on the side ones and work your way around it. Eventually you will get it off. It's a little bit of a pain. It's way easier to put back on than it is to take off. Once you get this off, there is a ribbon holding it in. To pull the ribbon out, what you want to do is there's a plastic tab. What you kind of have to do is just kind of grab it by the end and pull it out a little bit on both ends, and that will loosen up the ribbon, and you'll be able to just pull the ribbon out. Just like that. Now you can set the faceplate aside as well. Now we can take out all the screws to get the top part out. There are 4 screws on top, one down there, one down here, one down here, and one down there. I may have pointed to the wrong screw. There's one here and then one over here, not that one back there. What you might want is a magnetic screwdriver to get those, like a little one. I'm going to use this to unbolt them or unscrew them, and then this will kind of go down there and it's magnetic. It doesn't reach far enough to unscrew them, but it'll pull them out for me. So those 4 screws, and then I know for sure these 2, but I believe this one as well. So just pull out all 3 of these screws on the front, and then this should separate. There's another ribbon cable inside, but that is a different design, and if you just pull up on this, you can, if you want to be careful, you can reach in the back here and kind of unplug the ribbon cable, but otherwise if you just pull up on this, it'll unplug itself. Alright, so now you have your fan right here. It plugs in down here. I've already unplugged it. And there's just 2 screws right here on the outside holding it in. So here's the fan that was in there. Here's the new fan that I bought. You can tell it's quite a bit smaller. It should still do enough cooling to get the job done. I'm not worried about it. If this radio does end up dying, I'll just get another one used, or I'll get an Android radio or something. But what you want is a 35mm fan. Try to get one with this plug. As you can see, the plug that I got with my new fan is way too big, so I have to cut this one off and I have to splice this one on. I'm going to solder it and use heat shrink. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that. Here's the fan. I definitely should have used some smaller heat shrink, but it'll get the job done. This will plug in now. This should work. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug this in where the other fan was, and you should be good to go. Go ahead and start putting everything back together. So hopefully if any of you guys have to do this, you get the right fan, 35mm with the right connector. Because I got the smaller fan, I wanted to make it work. I wanted to make sure that it's still cooled properly, so there wasn't anything exposed to the sides of where the new fan sits. So I just put this aluminum tape here, and that kind of seals it off, so it's kind of ducted properly. This fan should be powerful enough to cool this still, and I think this should do the trick. So now I'm going to go ahead and put it all back together. This part is the most difficult part of the entire process. So you can see right here is where this ribbon plugs in. There's not really enough room to get your hand in. Maybe if you have smaller hands, you'll have a better chance at it than I do. But you kind of just got to set it up like this and just try to do your best to stick your hand in there to plug it in. Alright, so that's plugged in now. It took me like 3 minutes. What I did was stick my one finger in here and then the other ones in the back like that and kind of plug it in. It's a pain, hardest part of the whole process, but it only took me 3 minutes to get it plugged in. Now we can go ahead and screw everything back together. You kind of want to pull this out a little bit. And go ahead and plug your faceplate ribbon in. It'll kind of click into place. And then you can push this black piece back in. Like that. And your ribbon's plugged in. Go ahead and just snap this back into place. Now we just got to plug it into the car and test it. Definitely working, but it's really loud and making a lot of noise. So unfortunately it didn't work for me because of the fan that I got. I did everything correctly, so this is still the process to fix your radio if your fan's bad. Just try to buy the proper fan. Here is the part number if you need it. This is the fan that came out of it. So you can see there's CXM 1425-B. I don't know if the 2FHC is important, but I did do a Google search. I did find the fan, but it's all on like Japanese websites. I can't find this exact fan. So I think a 12 volt 35 millimeter fan should do the trick for you. But I'm going to go ahead and take everything apart, disconnect the fan, put this one, or not put it back in, just kind of take this fan out. I'm just going to put it back together without a fan in it so I can show you that it still works after I took it apart. So let me just go ahead and do that really quick off camera. Alright, I took the fan out completely, but just to show you guys it works before I bolt it all in, I'm going to just go ahead and turn the keys forward. And then we're going to turn the radio on. You can see it's connected to my phone. For whatever reason it remembers your phone but doesn't remember your presets, but whatever. We'll get radio station going. Turn that off before we get copywritten. Make sure it still plays CDs. I totally just put that back above the radio and I had to pull the radio out to get that. Shoot. Okay, try that again. Make sure it plays CDs. You can see it's reading it, playing the song. We're good there. And that's it. I'm just going to go ahead and bolt it back in. I took the fan out completely. I'm going to try to order the correct fan. Alright, well it's quite a while later and I've been busy with other stuff, so I haven't really been working on this, but I've been running that radio for like months now without a fan. But I took this fan, this is the original fan, and I took this model number out because I wanted to get the correct fan put in there. So I entered this model number into Google and it came up with some results. To be honest, none of these are the same results that I found. It looks like you can get it here now, which this was not here originally, but you could probably order one right here. But what I found was a result on this site. So this is a completely Chinese site, world.taobao.com, and if I search this model number on this site, you can hit search. You can see it comes up with the results, and I bought one of these too, actually. So if you click here, it's all in Chinese. I was just coming here to look at the specs, and I mean, you get all the specs of the fan right here. And we can translate this to English, and you can see you got your power consumption, your amps, your voltage, your noise. So at first I tried to find another fan with these kind of ratings, but I couldn't find anything close. So this is like $2 US or something like that, and they do ship to the United States. So I bought it on here. What you do is you pay like $1 shipping or something like that to ship it to the international shipper, and then it costs quite a bit. So like total this fan cost me $15, but it was worth it just to see if I could get this to work. And then if we look, it took a little while, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks to ship, but I have the exact same fan now, and it should just be plug and play. This should work perfectly with the radio. I'm going to go ahead and install it and show you guys the finished product. I'm not going to show you the whole process of me installing it again, but you'll see. Alright, so as you can see, the fan is in there, and we have the right fan in there this time. And we're going to go ahead and turn the keys forward and see what kind of noise it makes. It's all plugged in. Wow. That's awesome. It's working though. That's sweet. I'm going to go ahead and bolt it back in. All right, so it's all back together now. I'll turn the keys forward. Radio obviously works. It's got my phone connected. And we're good to go. All right, guys, I'm really happy that I was able to get that working. So, lesson learned, just buy the right fan. If you don't want to buy from a Chinese website, then you saw the specs that I listed earlier. You're just going to want to match those as best as you can with any 35mm fan and then splice the plug. This one was the same fan, so it plugged in directly. It didn't have to do any modification or anything, and it works perfectly. So, all right, well, if you like the video, make sure you subscribe. But if not, then you can hit the dislike button, I guess. If you did like it, hit the like button. And thank you for watching. Peace out. What?